Just bring the hands in front of the chest, close the eyes. Just take a few moments to listen to the sound of the Ujjayi breath. And we'll just chant Om to start. So inhale deeply. Exhale, release the arms, opening the eyes. Inhale, raise the arms, gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, fold over the legs, relax the back of the neck. Inhale, lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step or hop back, lower down. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And here, if you need to, you can pedal the feet, bending one knee, and then switching, bending the other knee. And switching. And switching. And then straightening both legs. Now you're going to pull your right knee close to the chest. Lift your left heel from the floor, so you're just on the toes. And then start to lean forward, pressing into the hands, trying to keep that right knee as close to the chest as possible. Push the left heel away so you go a little bit lower with the hips. Step back. Just take a couple of breaths. Pull the left knee into the chest, lean forward, press into the hands, push the right heel away from you, coming a little bit lower with the hips. Step the foot back, back into downward facing dogs, just taking a few breaths, bringing the heart rate down. Now you're going to lean forward, bring the shoulders over the wrists, press into the hands, and you're going to bring your right knee to the outside of your right arm. Step the foot back, back into downward facing. Lean forward, shoulders over the wrists, and bring your left knee to the outside of the left arm. This is meant to warm you up, just in case you're wondering. Lean forward, shoulders over the wrists. This time you're going to bring your right knee towards the opposite side, towards the left arm. Step back, downward dog. Lean forward, left knee to the right arm. And step back. So is anybody not warmed up? Okay. Now you're going to step your right foot to the right thumb. Come up high onto the fingertips into a lunge. Bring your left fingertips kind of under the face on the inner side of your left foot. Take your right hand, place it on the top of the right thigh, and drop that right thigh. Start to spin the spine like you're going to face towards your right side. Gaze up, push your left heel away, and then pick up your right arm. Both hands back down to the floor, step back, lean forward, chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Step your left foot to the left thumb. Bring your fingertips on the inside of that foot. Bring your left hand to the top of the left thigh, dropping the femur bone. And pick up your left arm. And both hands back down to the floor. Press the hands, step back, lean forward for chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now you're going to step your right foot forward and you're going to come to the right heel. So you're on the top, on the back of the heel. You're going to slide your fingertips back. So you're high on the fingertips, and now you're going to feel like you're going to pull your right heel back and your left hip forward. So it's like the 2 feet are going to come towards each other. Right thigh back, left thigh forward. Now you're going to bend your front knee just slightly, about 10 degrees or so, and then open the outside of the foot so the outer side of the foot is on the floor. Pull up all the toes, so you're flexing the toes back. The inner foot is off the floor. So you can stay here. You need to have a right angle with your ankle and your shin bone. Bring your fingertips on the inside of your leg. You can bend your knee a little bit more, but go slowly. If it's going to be too much, you just stop at any place you need to. If it feels okay, you might lower down onto the forearms. Interlace the fingers. And then look down your body and see that both hips are level. And maybe you can even slide your back heel away. So the inside of the front foot is off the floor. Then you're going to come back up onto the hands. Bring your right hand to the outside of the leg. Come back onto the heel. Lean forward so you're pressing into the hands, rounding the upper back. Lift from the hips and slide that leg back. Come to downward facing dog. And step the left heel forward. Slide your fingertips back. Pull your left heel towards you, so your front heel sliding backwards. Your right hip is pulling in towards the core. So you're contracting at the moment. Bend the front knee about 10 degrees or so, rotating from the hip joint. Place the outer edge of the foot on the floor. Keep the toes lifted. Both hands in the front. So you're welcome to stay here. If it feels okay, you might come down onto the forearms. If it still feels okay, bend the knee a little more. Gaze at your hips. See that both hips are approximately the same level. Slide the right heel back if you need to. Come back up onto the hands. Bring the left hand on the outside of the leg. Come back to the original position. Lean forward, press into the hand, slide that heel back. This time you're going to lean forward, come to chaturanga, come to upward dog, and over the toes to downward facing dog. Just take a couple of breaths. Now you're going to lift the heels from the floor, so you're up high on the balls of the toes. Press into the hands, reach the sitting bones away. Feel the lower abdominals sucking in. And then you're going to start to pick up your right leg, but from the inner thigh. So your right leg is staying straight. It's not opening out to the side. Like you're making a nice straight line from the wrist of that right hand to the heel of the right foot. Now, trying to keep the hips exactly where they are, try to externally rotate the femur bone of that upper leg. So you're opening just in the hip joint. Now bend your right knee, and this time you're going to lift your right knee up towards the ceiling. Still trying to keep the weight somewhat even in the two hands. And now you're going to bring your right knee to land on the floor right behind your right wrist. Like this. So it's for pigeon. Just check. You're not going to open your foot out a lot. You're going to keep your ankle straight and your shin bone at an angle. And then you're going to slide your left leg back so your right heel is in the front of the left soft part of the pelvis. Then take a look behind you and just check that your back leg is straight behind. It's not wavering out to the side. You want to have the heel right behind the hip bone, okay, to be able to stretch the muscles evenly in the center. And if you're having trouble doing that, you can keep the toes tucked under. If it stays where it is, just point the toes and you can stay like that. Bring the hands alongside the body. Press into the fingertips and lift the chest, opening the chest. Now you're going to let yourself fold forward, walking the hands forward and releasing the forehead down to the floor. Here you can completely relax, let the weight be held by the floor. And then you're going to put your hands on the floor, press into the hands. You're going to lean towards your bent knee, the right knee, and then take your left leg around, swing it around, and place the sole of the foot close to the front knee. Take your fingertips beside you, just lift the buttocks and let the skin fall down naturally. Then you're going to take your hands and you're going to lengthen the outer line of your left leg. So you can start in the center and then lengthen along. You get the tendons behind the back of the knee and you get the thumb into the groin and just lengthen. And as you do so, squeeze your right side to start initiating a twist. Okay, then you can take your elbow on the outside of the knee, press your elbow to the knee and the knee to the elbow. Feel like your chest is reaching to the side. And you can either stay here or you can put the whole arm on the outside of that front leg and maybe take your foot. And maybe even take the left hand behind and hold the left thigh. And then exhale, release the upper body. And you're going to take your upper ankle and you're going to stack the knees on top of one another. Take your hands into the heels, pressing into the heels, lift the sitting bones and just kind of wiggle the muscles around until they feel like they're in a more comfortable place. And then some choices, either you can stay here, gaze towards your hands or the knees. If you feel like you can go a little deeper, then maybe you start to lean forward, place the hands on the floor, press into the hands so the sitting bones feel grounded, and lift the chest up. Lengthen the back of the neck so there's no wrinkles behind the neck. And then maybe you put the elbows on the floor, but keep that pressure so the sitting bones stay down and grounded, and then relax the head down. Relax the upper back, relax the shoulders. Press into the hands, sitting back up. Now you're going to keep your upper knee as it is, but you're going to lean back and straighten out the lower leg. You can again just kind of shift the muscles so you feel like they're in a comfortable place. Take your hands on your low rib cage. Use your thumbs to lengthen the back of the rib cage. Use your fingers to connect the front rib cage to the hip bones. And then start to tilt forward with a long back. And hold somewhere on your foot, ankle, or shin. So don't drop the head here. Keep the neck long. Chin in a neutral position. Finding a gazing point. And listen to the sound of the breath. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release the bind. Cross at the ankles. Press into the hands. Lean forward and lift up. Go through and jump. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Finding yourself back in downward dog, staying here. Just verify the alignment. You're going to lift the heels away from the floor. Press the hands, reach the sitting bones to the back walls. And then you're going to start to pick up your left leg from the inner thigh. So it feels like the inner thigh is lifting a little bit quicker than the outer thigh. And the leg should be straight. Keeping the pelvis as it is, you're going to rotate the thigh externally. Now bend the knee and reach the knee up to the ceiling. Swing your left knee forward to come right behind that left wrist. Keep the ankle pointed. And then lower yourself down so your heel is in the soft part in front of the right pelvis. Take a look behind you. Check that the foot is directly behind the right hip. And then maybe you can straighten your ankle, but make sure the ankle stays straight. You don't collapse. So not like this, but like that. Bring your fingertips alongside the body so your hips feel like they're going forward. You're going to press into your fingertips and then feel first forward, up, and back. And now start to walk the hands forward, finding a place you can relax in, and just completely releasing here. And then press into the hands, walking the hands back up. Lean towards your bent knee. Swing the right leg around and place the sole of the foot just in front of the knee. Lift the sitting bones, let the skin fall down naturally. Take the hands alongside, so around the IT band area. Feel like you're gonna lengthen that from behind the knee at the tendons, right into the groin, dropping that right sitting bone. So you can twist from here, or you can hook the elbow and twist from here. Or see if you can get the whole arm on the outside of the leg and twisting from there. And then releasing the bind, exhaling, stacking the knees on top of one another. Taking the hands on the inside of the heels, pressing into the heels, lifting the sitting bones, wiggling around, just till it feels comfortable, and then sitting back down. So again, if this is already stretching, you just stay sitting straight, find a gazing point, try to relax the muscles. If you feel like you need more of a stretch, then you lean forward, place the hands into the floor, press the hands into the floor so you ground the sitting bones, lengthen through the spine, lengthening the sternum, chin in a neutral position. And then notice if one or the other buttocks are resisting the stretch, and if they are, then you need to really soften. And if you can't soften, you need to walk your hands up a little bit until the muscles are agreeing with this pose. And then maybe the elbows can come down, but still keep some pressure in the hands so the sitting bones stay on the floor. And pressing into the hands, walking yourself back up. And you're going to straighten the bottom leg. Stacking the knees, you can wiggle the muscles so they're comfortable. Take your hands on the low rib cage so the thumbs are behind, the fingers are in front. Lengthen the back waist and anchor the front to the hip bones. Tilt forward, keeping the back long, and then holding somewhere on the foot, ankle, shin, or even on the floor if you want. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Crossing at the ankles, squeezing in, press the hands, push into the hands, lift, and try to bring yourself through, jump. Upward dog, and downward facing dog. You're going to lean forward into the hands, press into the hands, bring one knee through the arms, put the toes on the floor, bring the other knee through the arms, and then just coming to sit here. So the next one, just make sure it doesn't hurt your knees, okay? So if it is, just tell me and we can find something else to do. You're going to, it's ankle to knee pose. So you're going to rotate your right hip from the outer hip, and then bring your shin bone approximately parallel in front of you, but it's not a complete straight line. The ankle, it's descending like this a little bit, the line, okay, in front of me, but the foot needs to stay flexed. Then I'm going to externally rotate my left hip, and I'm going to place my ankle on the right knee and my knee on my left ankle. Okay, so if you're really high up, then it's better you come into some sort of cross-legged position, okay? But just remember which knee is in front, okay? And the foot should not be like this. It needs to be flexed. Okay, then you're going to take your left hand on the left thigh and you're going to kind of start from the middle, lengthen out, get those tendons behind the inner knee, lengthen this away from you. And then take your right hand on your right heel, and now I'm going to lengthen in this direction. I'm lengthening the inner line of that lower leg. Okay, so this might be enough for some of you, so you use your wisdom. If it's not enough, then you start folding forward. If your knee's not connected to you stay up. Maybe do like, yeah. And you can still fold forward if your legs are crossed. Once you're all the way down, you can release the hands and just place them in front of you. You can use the hands as a pillow to place the forehead down. And then see what's happening around the buttocks, the hamstrings, the lower back. And if you feel like the muscles are really screaming at you, you need to come out a little bit. Or see if you can go inside and tell the muscles to relax, relax, nothing's gonna happen, it's okay, it's okay. And if they relax, no problem, you can stay here. But if they're really fighting you, it's just gonna create pain and it's not really gonna help with stretching. Then you're going to put the hands on the floor, walk yourself back up. And you're going to release the legs. And next you're going to take the left leg, externally rotating at the hip joint. Place that foot in front of you. Go slowly, so if something moves in a strange way in the knee, you can stop before it injures you. Make sure your foot is flexed. Then you're going to take your opposite leg and place the ankle on the knee and the knee on the ankle. So if you're to look down, there's a little, it's not, my tibia isn't completely straight. My ankle is a little bit lower than the knee. Take the hand on the, starting from about the middle of the thigh, lengthen, come to those tendons, lengthen that out. Take your left hand, make sure your left foot is flexed, place the hand on the inner ankle so that you're trying to lengthen the inner line of the lower leg. Then you can stay here, or you can tilt forward. You can see where you're going to go. If you need to, you can put the hands on the floor and stay up a little bit. You can use the hands as a pillow, or the forehead can come right down as you need. Press the hands, walk yourself up, and lean back, straighten out the legs, and just shake them out. Okay, now you're going to come so that you're sitting on the feet. You're going to bring your fingertips back behind you, and then you're going to lift the sitting bones, tuck the sitting bones and the tailbone under, and then sit down. Okay, so it's going to depend on what's happening in your quads. So you're sitting down now. If you can, you're going to start to lean back. You can soften the space between the knees, but we don't want the knee way out to the side. You're going to stop wherever you need to. So if that's enough, you stop here. We're not staying so long, so we're not going to get bolsters out. But if it's quite comfortable, then you can go back and lie down. And then you're going to put your hands on the floor or hold around your ankles, press into the elbows, and try to come up as evenly as possible, not to one side. So really one little bit at a time, so your spine stays straight. Then you're going to bring your hands forward, press into your hands, slowly releasing the knees into downward facing dog. You're going to lean forward into the hands. So if you remember which knee you brought forward the last time, bring the opposite. So pull the knee through the chest, put the toes on the floor, pull the other knee, toes down, and sitting down. Then you're going to to remove that thing back. You're going to lie down on the floor. Bring the sacrum into the floor. Pull the knees towards the chest. Take your hands into the point, the soft area between the hip bones, and press this down into the floor. Then you're going to straighten your legs up to the ceiling, flex the feet. You're going to keep that area between the fingertips right through to the back, glued on the floor. Then you're going to curl your upper back off the floor. Straighten your arms. Push the sacrum down. So not everybody's going to do the next parts. First of all, you need to have the legs straight. And then, so if they don't straighten, you're not doing the next part, in other words. Then you're going to see if you can keep pushing the lower abdominals to the floor. Feel like your back is not arching off the floor, and bring your legs a little bit towards the floor. But keep verifying that the back doesn't come off the floor. Bring the knees into the chest, release the head. Flex the feet, reach the feet to the ceiling, bring your hands between the hip bones, press that area down so you feel the sacrum firm on the floor. Straighten your arms. So this is step 1. This is Navasana, okay? So this is step 1 Navasana. Step 2 Navasana, lift the upper back, lift the head. Step 3 Navasana, legs a little bit down. And it depends, on the strength of somebody. Maybe they don't move the legs at all, or maybe they can come to about 45 degrees. Bend the knees into the chest, release the head. And then either you're going to rock yourself up to sit or roll to one side, depending on how your back is. So that was Navasana. Next version of Navasana is to bring the forearms on the floor behind you. Pull your knees in. Flex your feet. And see if you can straighten the legs out at an angle. Maybe you can point the toes or do the Barbie foot. And breathe all at the same time. And release. Coming up. So that's another good way to work Navasana, especially if you have any problems in your upper body and you just need to relax and you're not tensing everything. Next, you're going to hold behind the knees. Lift through the sternum. Lean back. So my heels come off the floor. Then maybe I start to bring my shins parallel with the floor. Keeping the knees together, you can straighten your arms. And then you're going to release. You're going to reach behind your knees again. Lift the sternum, feel the back is long, tilt back, bring the shins parallel with the floor, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. And And release. There's a joke back there. Okay. The next two are not Navasana, but they're just fun. You're going to bring your knees close to the body. Bring your arms behind the legs. And then you're going to see if you can straighten your legs up. Keep the connection as close as possible, legs to chest, and then straighten your arms. Now you're going to go into a really low boat, more like a raft. Don't let the feet touch. And then come all the way back up. Up, 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 up. Take your arms, pulling in, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. Try to keep the legs where they are. And let's go back to our raft. No, don't let the feet touch. Oh, and now I'm losing my strength too. And then pulling in. And release. Bring the legs out, bring the hands behind you. Shaking out the legs. And just come to a cross-legged position. Close the eyes, bring the hands in front of the chest. Listening to your breath. And we're going to chant Om. Namaste. So you should have open hips right now. You should be all warmed up and you should be ready for lots of other stuff. Yes? Maybe tired, but this doesn't matter. You just need to make sure you don't get injured when we're working on all these poses that are going to involve a lot of the lower back and the hip area. Loka samasta